Okay, so this video is to walk you through creating specific lessons for your Google site. So we're going to be using Howard Gardner's Multiple Intelligences to make sure that children get a variety of opportunities in different intelligences. So remember that everyone learns differently and everybody has a preferred method. We don't always have to stick in our own preferred method. It's good to try other things. But the main idea is in a unit theme to have uh, different types of learning situations so that kids have some time in their preferred method. Okay, so this graph is to remind us of the different types of multiple intelligences. So bodily kinesthetic, these are large movement activities. They can be indoor or outdoor. It's just the idea that you're employing the whole body in the activity. Interpersonal, this is when there's interaction between people. Verbal linguistic, this is reading, writing activities. Logical mathematical, so this is both problem solving and math. Naturalistic, this is the engagement with nature, living things. Intrapersonal, these are quiet, reflective, alone activities. Visual spatial, so this is the arts, this is puzzles, things like that. And musical, so any type of music or beat, things like that involved in the activity. So sometimes there are two intelligences or even three. You'll often see musical and bodily kinesthetic working together. Interpersonal and mathematical go together when you're cooking. Intrapersonal and reading often go together. Sometimes reading and interpersonal go together depending on your activity. So I think you get the idea. So sometimes you'll have a lesson that's housed in just one, but if you really can't decide between two, just add them both to your lesson plan. That's fine. So the idea is to give children a variety of opportunities. You also don't have to do one of each. You're just choosing four and making four different lesson plans. Okay, so on to the lesson plan writing. You'll start with this template. So this is just one template out there and one type of lesson planning writing. You'll see many different ones as you go through courses in your career. So this is just one that we'll be using for this course, but know that there are many ways to do this. Okay, so first when I open this template, I want to highlight a few things. I've made a few reminders in the title, make copy first, and then again here, make copy of template before using, and a little reminder of how to do it. Go to File, then make a copy, and I'll show you that in a moment. And also check sharing settings so that anyone with the link can view before adding to the Google site. So I recommend doing these things first so that you're sure that they are done. Okay, so I'm going to go to File, make copy, and then I'm just going to make a visual spatial plan. You can also name it the title of your lesson. Either one is fine. So I'm going to press OK, and then you see that I have a new document. Okay, and you'll do this copy 4 times, so you'll have 4 different documents. Okay, next, the sharing setting. You'll go see it's starting private only to me. So if I attached this to my Google site, and turn it in, no one would be able to see it. So if that happened to you with your schedule, just be sure to go here and change this. And so if we do this first, maybe we won't run into those problems. But if we do, no big deal. I'll just give you a quick message and we'll change it. It's fine. Okay, so you'll press change to anyone with link. And so anyone with link can view. If you wanted someone to be able to make comments or edit, you can change that. If you would like me to make comments directly on there, you can change it to commenter, and then I can do that. But if you prefer that I just make comments in the side in Canvas, that's fine too. But the point is, so at least have this so everyone can see it. And then press done. Okay, and then when I go through, I'm going to first take this red out because that's just a reminder and I already did that. And then you can just go ahead and click on the template and create different things. So this is going to be my create a logo lesson plan. So I'm adding the specific title and then subject. Advertising, and then my multiple intelligence, visual spatial. So don't worry, I'm not going to make you see me type the whole thing. Okay, then grade. And then time needed. About 1 hour. Okay, so then I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to fill in the rest of these, and so that you can see them in my Google site. So I'll attach them. Well, actually, before I do that, I'm going to go through the different parts, and then I'll show you this in my own. Okay, so the overview is just a few statements about what the lesson is. Then you'll list materials that you'll need. You don't have to fill each one, just what you would need for the activity. Standards, that's if there's a literacy or math standard that can be connected, and I have a separate video in the module showing you how to look up Common Core literacy math standards or literacy, so that's reading or writing, speaking and listening. So if they apply, you can try to find a standard that go along with it. This is just to give you a little experience with it, because as noted in the textbook, that sometimes after school programs or other programs are expected to connect to academics. So you don't need this in every single lesson. This is just to give you a little experience with it. Okay, and then the phases of your lesson plan. Objective, what students will do, create, or learn, and so you'll often use these verbs in your objective writing. Anticipatory set, how you get the children interested in 3 to 5 minutes. So here again, I talked a little bit about it in the lecture, but you don't want to fuss at kids to come to the circle. You want to have something that is quick and easy, that gets their attention, that gets them to want to be there and wonder about what you're doing. This can be a question. This can be something underneath a blanket and you just ask, I can't wait to show you what I have today. Things like that. Okay, procedures. So these are detailed steps so that anyone else could see the lesson plan. And so these aren't very wordy. They're very clear steps, but you're really trying to think of all little details. And so often when you go and actually do the activity, you'll say, oh, I really should have added these steps in my lesson plan. And so likely you will go back and add a few things, or you'll redo it for next time. So teaching really is a trial and error job. We really rarely do it perfectly the first time or ever. It's always a process of getting better each time. And so if you go back to your lesson plan and write sort of after action notes so that and revise your lesson plan, the next time you'll be able to put that in. And then closure. How will the lesson or activity end? So how will the students know that it's over? So these are all on the template. And so I'm going to flip over to the one that I've written. Okay, so here's one of my lesson plans that I'm going to add to my beginning of my week for my unit, and this is doing a survey. So I have my theme is kid business, and so they're going to use a little survey to find out what students at their center will enjoy. So because they want people to come to their business. So the subject is math and graphing. So 2 intelligences work here: logical, mathematical, and interpersonal, because they'll be going around taking a survey. I've added the grade and time. Students will brainstorm possible class businesses and then conduct a survey to find out which idea is the most popular. So these are quick statements. Then I've listed the materials needed, and this is an example of standard. So I went to the California Common Core Math Standards, and this one, draw a scaled picture graph and a scaled bar graph to represent a data set with several categories. So this standard fits my activity, but again, you don't have to have a standard for each one of your lessons. This is just one that it fits. Objectives. So students will discover the power of surveys when making business decisions. Students will create a bar graph to show data from the survey. So what students will do or learn or discover, those are really good verbs to use when creating objective statements. You can have 1 or 2 objective statements. Sometimes there's 3, but we want to keep our lessons really focused. So 1 or 2 seems to be just right. Okay, here's my anticipatory set. I will ask students, what are some of the wants and needs of other children at our center? So this will kind of quickly engage them in thinking about the activity. And what types of businesses could we create to meet those needs and wants? So this is of high interest. They're going to get excited about this and have lots of ideas. And so then I wrote my procedures in steps, and I will let you look at these more closely, but you can see that I'm just saying students, the teacher, students, the teacher. So you don't want to say I will, because remember, this is a lesson plan for anybody. So the teacher, so make sure you write that, or what will the students do? Okay, and then closure, the students will return to the circle to share their graphs. So you can see that there is an ending. So this is just one example of one of my lesson plans. So now I'm going to turn to my Google site to show you how I added that. But first I'm going to check my sharing settings. Oh, yep, anyone with the link. So this should work out just fine. Okay, so here I am on my kid business site. So I'm going to go to activities. And then my first one is the logical mathematical. So children will conduct a marketing survey and create a bar graph to find the most popular business ideas. So this is very close to my objective or my overview. in my objective statements, so you can use those to write that. And then I linked my plan right here. And how did I do that? So I'm going to kind of erase that and show you how I did that. So link to lesson plan. So first I type that, and then I will go to my lesson plan again. So I'm going to actually scoot this up so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to go to my lesson plan. Here it is. And then sharing, and then get link. And see it says copy link. Link copied. Oops, wrong one. And then I'm going to highlight this. And then here is the insert link. Then I'm going to, let me scoot this down so you can see it better. I'm going to copy and paste that link right here. And I'm going to apply it. And there that's it. And then when I do the activities with school-age children or another adult, you can take some pictures and you can add a picture here to bring this to life. So remember, these activities are the 4 that you'll want to use for your service learning journal. Okay, next, I'm going to show you how to add other lesson plans here, because you remember you're going to have 4. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to press this one with the picture and the words. And so remember, I was working on a visual spatial lesson plan, and then my overview statement was students will learn about logos and create a logo for their business. Okay, then I'm going to do another link to lesson plan, and I'm going to go to that other lesson plan. That's my template, sorry. Here it is, my create a logo lesson plan. I'll let you look at this closer. So you can see this is another example of a lesson plan that I've created with an anticipatory set, getting them excited, the steps, and then the closure. And then I'm going to go to share, show you this again, and then look, it says restricted, only people, so this won't work. So I've got to change it first, so I must have forgotten to do that. Okay, so, and then done. Then anyone on the internet with the link can view, so that's perfect. I'm going to copy the link. I'm going to go back to my website, my Google site. I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to copy and paste my lesson plan there. Once I work with a child to create a logo, I will add a picture of it here. Now remember, you need 4 lesson plans, so you want to add 4. I'm going to do a musical, and I'm going to do a literacy lesson plan. And so when you're doing literacy, so if you're adding a book to your lesson plan, I just want to note now, and I'll have an example here for you, you can't just read the book, right? You want to do something with it. So I've added links to Scholastic lesson plans. There's tons of ideas out there. So when you're, make note when you look through my example of a literacy lesson plan that I'm not just reading the book, I am then doing something with it. It can be a project, or it can be a conversation. It can be acting it out. So literacy often will combine with another intelligence. So the literacy will be the reading of the book out loud, and then another intelligence to doing something with it. But so again, you want 4 total things. You don't need the pictures yet. You add those as you are doing your service learning journal. You need pictures in there, and then add the pictures here too. Okay, so this will be available to you with these lesson plans. I just don't want this video to be too long. But before we end, I want to show you another way and a better way to attach your Google site to your Canvas. So we're actually going to switch things and publish it. So press publish, and this will be unchecked when you first do it. So request public search engines to not display my site. So then this one is there, and then you want who can view my site, anyone, but this will just make it so it's not searchable. So you'll want to check that. Okay. So in manage, you can also check it if you'd like to make sure. Yep, so anyone with the link, and that's public, so that will also help make sure that it's easily seen. Okay, so then I'll press publish. Okay, so then to get the URL, instead of copying and pasting this one up here, so don't copy paste this, the top address bar, go to the copy published site link, and then press this, and this will copy the link for just my activities page. And so that's fine for turning that in. So I've copied that. And then when you go to your Canvas, you will just paste your URL that you just copied there, and then submit assignment. And you've got the little submitted sign, so that's good. And then I'm going to check it. And so then you can see everything's there. So I hope that's better. Then you might want to also check to make sure, again, just double check that your sharing settings on here is anyone with the link can view, and that way I'll be able to open it. Okay, so I know this was a little bit of a longer video, but lesson planning is not easy. There's many, like I said, trial and error. I will give comments on your lesson plans to help you out, but also please reach out if you're feeling confused about this at all. Maybe the best way is for us to meet on Zoom, and I can talk you through 1 or 2 lesson plans, or even all of them. I'm more than happy to help. If you cannot come to my office hours on Thursday, just email me and we'll set up a time. And again, I am happy to help. Or you can message me and we can go through email or messaging and I can help you there too. Just don't feel frustrated. I want this to be fun. Looking and create for lesson ideas, I think is really a good time. And so I hope you do too. Thanks.